Welcome back, wine lovers, to another behind the scenes look at winemaking. This week, we're diving into the process of creating our fruit infused wines. We'll also answer last week's question. So let's sip, learn, and enjoy this week's video.
Alright guys, now I'm just showing you how I measure out the bentonite, and then once I get the bentonite measure out to the correct measurement needed for the start, I get some hot water, like really hot water, and then remember the water, our hot water is 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I need that to open up bentonite and use it to stabilize the wine during the 14-day fermentation process, and also helps with the yeast as well. Get our wrist getting going until all the bentonite is poured in, and as you can see, it gets this nice gray, almost cloudy, milky color, and that's what we want to look for. And then you just pour it into the wine while she's already mixing and let her do her magic. And then now I'm just kind of loosening up some of the foam, as you can say, on top, so it can just be evenly distributed. So right now I'm just showing you after I mixed in the bentonite. Remember, there's like 2 ways to add the yeast. The way I'm showing you right now, and in another video I'm gonna show you why we do it the other way, which you just sprinkle it on top. But with this video, I'm showing you how you can mix the yeast with part of the wine and just dump it in on top to have it just mixed in as well. Alright guys, for this start, it will be 2 sweet red wines. And since they're both red wines and sweet, doesn't matter which one I start with, whether it's the pomegranate or the raspberry peach, which you all know and love as the cardinal red. And the other one is the ruby elixir, the pomegranate, which is becoming another popular wine here at the winery. I'm just showcasing you guys how I open these heavy bags and dump them in, and you know, every drop counts. Leave none behind, as you can see. So right now, after I dump the grape must into the clean tank, I'm just measuring how much must is into the tank to know how much water to put into the tank and whatever else ingredients needed properly measured out for this start. And once I get the tank measured, that's when I connect the water hose, which are already positioned to the correct temperature to where it's like lukewarm. Remember, we're adding the yeast, and pretty much to start, we're doing wine in general. It's like baking, since we're dealing with yeast, and you know, with yeast, not too hot and not too cold, so it can still actively do its thing. So I'm just double checking and making sure the water temp is to where it's needed before opening up the valve and filling up the tank with the water, and also before I start mixing everything as well. And then once I have the water to the correct level inside the tank, that's when I turn everything off, remeasure it just in case, just to double check, always reassurance. And then once that, I just put the racking arm on top, and I just properly move the tank, position it in a way to where hopefully you guys won't see that video, but I'll definitely put it on there to give you an example as why I position these tanks in a certain kind of way dealing with these racking arm and the hose. But it's just a messy cleanup, and I just don't want to deal with that. Alright, so once I fill the tank up to the correct level with the water and must mixture, That's when I complete the circuit and close it by connecting the other parts of the hose to the valve part of the tank so it can create a loop. And as you can see, the bubbles just bubbling up as the wine fills the hose. So I'm just letting the wine fill the hose before I begin the mixing process. Alright, so right now I'm just getting a SG reading, which is the specific gravity reading of the wine before I push the wine out of the racking iron, out of the first hose that was doing the top mixing back into the tank itself. Oh, had a little accident. Alright, back in action. So once I finally push all the wine back in, I just clear all the entryways that the wine has touched with the water sulfite solution. And then I'm just securing the tank itself. And then before I just secure the top, put that in to like secure. So, oh yeah, look inside. Bubbles. It's already active. Love it. But before that, put the little sealant on. It helps with the air pressure and to secure the top some more. Alright, so now I'm just finishing up this first start by measuring at the tank to see how much wine must and water mixture is in the initial starts. Because remember, we will be losing some wine throughout each step of the process, not a lot, but not all the wine will be coming with us through the final part, which is bottling. So that's all I'm doing now, just measuring at the tank, and then now I'm just getting the SG reading. Remember, that's the specific gravity reading, and that just measures the sugar ratio, water to sugar ratio. And at the starts, it will always be high, especially for the sweets. As you can see, we have a pretty good start, like 1060 to 1064 range. So it's a pretty good start. Right now, I'm just dumping out the SG reading for the first tank I just started. I'm just prepping, we're getting ready for doing the next start. So all I'm doing is just putting the 110 degrees hot water into this tank and just flushing out any of the wine that I just previously started on. So we can just start just rinsing the hose out pretty much so I can begin anew. Alright guys, so we're on to wine number 2 of the start. And this just a better view, top view of me just dumping the wine inside the clean vessel. Alright guys, so like I said before, we're on to wine number 2 of this start process. And I'm just connecting the water hose. Remember, it's like lukewarm waters into the grape must mixture. In that little bucket that you see me sometimes get like tools and dip the hose in from time to time, it's just a sanitizer bucket where I have everything I needed for any part of the process just ready to go and already just cleaned, and just in case if something just falls on the ground, I have a quick little bucket just to sanitize. Remember, this is like cooking. or baking in a way.
Now I'm once the water is filled, putting the racking arm on top of the tank, and before I close the circuit, I'm just making sure that it is positioned so, like I said, the racking arm won't fall out. Because with the red wine, it does look like a lot of so once I finally get it positioned, I'm able to close the circuit and just let the wine fill the hose, and then I just get her started. And as the wine must and the water is just mixing, I'm just preparing the water, which I get back hot, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Get it ready for the bentonite mixture.
Alright, I'm just finishing the mixing on the second one after I've done the bentonite and mixed the yeast in, and just clearing out the wine in the racking arm before I fully push the wine back into the tank. Just clearing out my entryways with water sulfite solution. And then here's the final project after I move the tank to the final spot for 14 days. Alright, so right now I'm just securing the second tank of the start in this video. And then as you see up the sink, I'm just making sure that the airlock is going to be working properly by blowing air through it to make sure that it opens up to release any of the CO2 within the tank during the 14-day process. And I just put it in the sanitizer bucket so we have water and some of that sulfite solution to help with the pressure. And then as you can see, it helps positioning the tank where I want it to be, because I might have issues securing the top part of it. So it's just best to just position things, be one step ahead. Makes it a little bit easier, like in cooking or baking, you have everything prepped and ready to go. It's just the same thing like in winemaking. You just have everything that you need, like setting up for your tank, all your tools you'll be using for whichever part of the process. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this behind the scenes video of a start with 2 sweet red wines. And you'll see more behind the scenes of me just maneuvering through multiple different types of wines, whether it's a dry white or sweet white, dry reds, and so forth. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.